The next stage in this build is installing the front end and the rear end, hooking it all up to the 4-link suspension in the front and the rear, installing the drive shaft in the front and the rear. So I'll get all that done. Or actually what I'll do is I'll probably install the drive shafts and show you what those look like, and then install the links and the rest. Alright, I've got the rear drive shaft installed from the transmission down to the rear end. I've got the front drive shaft installed from the transmission down to the, well, I tried to hook it up to the front end, but unfortunately the factory installed this whole front end kind of backwards and upside down and all wrong. So as you can see, this the steering rod, the steering bar here is supposed to go around the yoke here. The yoke is supposed to be on this side so that the drive shaft, sorry if I'm not on that good, I'm trying to get some light on the subject here, a bit better anyway. Hold on, I know I got to get a proper light for shooting these videos, bear with me guys. This is SD shop, right? Okay, so back to what we were saying. So the drive shaft is supposed to come out of the transmission and kind of straight forward into this side of the front end, not this side over here. So it's supposed to look kind of like this, right? Now, well, I'm going to have to change everything around. So I'm going to have to disassemble most of this stuff, flip everything over, flip the link mounts over, the shock mounts over, flip the bar over, flip this, flip that, flip. I'm going to flip the whole thing around, see what we get out of it. So I know we'll be able to do it because it has all the other holes on it every side, and it looks, I did the, you know, I took the minute to look around and make sure it's going to work. So it's going to just be put the time in. So Gord's going to have to owe me a couple more bucks for doing that, and it's on China, this one. So see if you can get your money back, Gord. You know, I'm just joking. Anyway, I'll get it done. We'll get it figured out. It's not a big deal, but I'm not going to get it together tonight. But I will, however, get the links put onto the rear end and get all that buttoned in, and I'll show you what it's like right when I'm done. All right, I've got the rear end here installed, and I've got the front end installed. I had to, like I said on the video, I had to disassemble them and kind of reconfigure them. It looks like I still might have to, before I'm finally done, take these back off, these hubs, and swivel them back to the back so that they're vertical. You can see they're not really straight up and down, even if the chassis, it's hard to do on video here, but even if the chassis is sitting straighter, they're still going to be angled too much. So I'm going to angle them back a bit, and same with the fronts. I think they're going to have to be changed to angled back also. So, or actually, sorry, angled forward. These ones are already angled back. I'll have to angle them forward. But that's some, you know, final setup. The next thing I am going to do, though, however, is put in this servo. It's a Injora servo, 35 kg servo. I don't know if you can see any of these figures on here. I'll try and get it a little close, but I'm not reading it all off. Nothing really substantial. For, let's see, the speeds. Operating speed 0.16 or 0.14 at 60 degrees. So if you know what that means, cool for you. If not, well, it's probably a decent servo. Let's pop her open and see what she looks like. I don't think Gord would have got a piece of junk for this servo as is. You know, I think he wanted to build himself a good truck here, so he probably got something decent. And here's what it looks like. Hopefully we can get a good look at that. Like I say here, maybe I'll put it down. Maybe my camera will like to focus on it if it's nothing behind it. Anyway, it's a nice looking servo. Injora 35 kg. Yeah, it's got a picture of a Jeep on there. So it's made for crawling, I guess. So we'll see how she, or maybe it's better back there zoomed out. I always forget that everyone's looking at this probably on a TV. So well, most of you are probably watching on a phone. But if you're watching on a TV, this is on a big screen, so it'll be easy to see. It's got no metal gears, obviously, aluminum casing, plastic also. It's got some good weight to it, so it's probably got some good internals. We're going to pop that in place there and screw it down, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's on there. All right, that servo is all installed. It seems to work fine. Nice and smooth, if you can hear that. It's not under power. I was just, cycling it by hand there. I got the wire just mounted to the link right now, the upper link. I'll power it all up. I did hook it up to the horn and everything just so everything's installed. I will have to unhook it, power it up, center the servo, and put it back on with Loctite and properly. And then that'll be done. And other than that, we're not going to run four-wheel steering on this truck as far as I know. Gord hasn't said anything about that. But here's that servo again. I'll let you guys know how it performs when we get it powered up and it steers the wheels and stuff. We still haven't got the wheels for this truck, but they will be coming. I also was talking to Gord today about the interior for this vehicle. I said, have you looked at any interiors for the Wraith? He said no, so I'm going to get on looking and searching for eBay, through eBay, for a good interior for this thing for not too expensive. Trying to keep this a bit, not too cheap because it's already up there for the cost of this build, but we don't want to, spend ridiculous on, parts like the interior that are probably going to be chopped up a bit, and it's just for looks anyway. So anyway, I think that's all for this segment right now. I'll be back with another part of this build really soon. The next thing I do will probably be putting the cage on and fitting the cage. I know the cage was having to be stretched about a 1/4 inch. It was too tight to fit right across here where it bolts onto. It was just too tight, so I'm going to have to stretch it out a bit, about a 1/4 inch, and hopefully I don't crack a weld. If I crack a weld, I'm going to have to tack weld it again, or, tack weld it back and then repaint it. So I'll be doing it very carefully and just bending it as much as I can and test fitting it, bending it, test fitting it, and doing it very gently because it's going to take a lot more work to repair it than it is to just take my time and do it right the first time. So anyway, I'll be back with that real soon.